Hopefully you can all hear me. Let's have a look. Do not cough into the mic, Graham. Okay, Graham. Let's see if my videos are... Oh, look, there's a live one there. There you go. And I'm now going to the live chat. And I will put that up there. Anyone out there, don't forget to like and share. Do I need to put that one up there? Probably. I'll get it up there anyway, right? And let's see who's on there. Poppy Lover. Oi, oi, Savaloy. Hello, Poppy Lover. Dave Merritt. Good evening. Jeremy Faulkner. Good evening. Peter Finn. Debbie Newin. Ozone 1959. Michael Crook. Yorkshire Militia. Hello. Wisham Evening DD. June Gower. Anon. June Gower. I've heard that name before. Anon User. Mon. X-Mon. Dave Martin. Hello from Cornwall. Journeyman. Good evening, Graham and Patrice from Blackpool, Lancashire, England. How you doing, son? Ray Edmonds. Hello. Here, Ray. Have you got... Last night, I was pushing out to everyone the Rumble documentary of Mike Yeadon. I just want to see if you can pull it up for me again. Give us a shout if you put it in there so I can copy it or do something with it. So if anyone's got the Mike Yeadon Rumble documentary, it was Planet Lockdown, I believe, or something similar to that. Let me have a look and see if I can go and find it again. Before I do anything else, www.planetlockdown.com. I don't want to buy that. There's something else. I'm sure someone's going to put in there. Driving and listening, Caustic Chameleon. Hello, darling. How are you? Can you hear me all the way across the pond? Let's see if this comes up anywhere. That's the one. Well done, son. I'll tell you what, you're a bit lively with that, ain't you? Eh? No wonder they call you the super mod. Let me see if I can stick it up here. Oh, that was a bit on the roadside, wasn't it? Let's see. There's a pissing said to the actress. Right. I have got to stop being rude. Hang on a minute. Let's have a look and see if there's anything else up there. Alright, okay. Let's see what else is going on now. Right, so what I'm doing now is I'll be back with you in about 30 seconds. Let's find me little... there you go. Found myself. Hello. Now I can see myself, and I can see I haven't got my hearing aids in, but I'm trying to regulate my voice. But you should be able to hear me all right. Let me just tip that up there so you're getting me bang on the money. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Give me a 5 by 5. Right, let me get this one out of the way. Right, don't forget. Let's put this up there. Yeah. And what you want to do is subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel, and hit the little bell. And if you just do that all button, that means when I do posts, that means when I do videos and upload them, that means when I do live feeds, you'll be able to see them. The next element to this, is you need to go on your device, whether it be a phone, tablet, computer, laptop, whatever, right? And you need to say accept notifications, and then it goes bing, and it will let you know that when I'm live or I've done something. The other side of this is don't forget to like it and don't forget to share it, because if you do that, others we'll be able to find this place of sanity. And it literally is a place of sanity. So, I'm going to give you a quick update on a few things. First of all, I'm going to give you an update on the health side. And that is that I have binned all of my heart drugs, every single one of them. I am now no longer taking any medication whatsoever. I have gone on a recommendation of Stephen Todd, so if I drop that dead tomorrow, yeah, not really, Steve. I won't blame you, honestly, right? And also some other recommendations for different vitamins, etc. So I'm taking all my normal vitamins, and I can't touch wood, and I am touching wood. I feel really good. So the plan is, and I've got my whatever it's called, it makes smoothies, and Stephen Todd has given me a list of things to put into this thing every day, and it makes up this little drink. He said drink that every day, and he said I'll guarantee you'll start feeling a lot better after a week. So that program starts tomorrow, and then next week I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it once only. I promise you I'm giving up smoking, right? So I am going to do everything. 1, vitamins. 2, this various elements that Steve Todd's put towards me. And I am also taking these other vitamins. And that's it. Right? And then I'm going to do some exercise every day. And I'm thinking about the best way of doing that. Right? So someone else said to me, the best way of doing that is to come out of your house, right? Get on a local bus, drive away about a mile on a bus, get off and walk back home. And then do that every day, yeah, so you know roughly how you're feeling. And then literally extend it a little bit to every day. So you're doing 3 mile a day or 5 mile a day walking. And that will gradually build up your fitness levels. And obviously you lose weight and you feel better. I must say, I do feel better. I ditched the drugs about a week ago, and a lot of how I feel now is that I do feel a lot better. So just to let you know what I've done. So I've got rid of all that stuff. Yeah, no, I am going to be trying to get some Durf. Hi everyone, I'm here but lurking. You lurk away, Durf, my old son. You're quite welcome. Right, so that's the first thing, just to let you know. And everyone keeps saying to me, and I'm not kidding you, right? They keep saying to me, your complexion's so much better. Well, I've got to tell you something. That is something to do with one of our subscribers who told me about some marine, I forget what it's called now, but marine collagen. And I take that. And my actual skin actually feels better, right? So, again, this is not an advert for all these weird and wonderful things. I'm just telling you what I'm doing to keep myself healthy. And that's what I'll be doing. Dave Mabbitt, I'm glad that was a positive story. I thought you was going to say, my friend did that and he got up to 4 mile away and dropped dead. Well, it wouldn't be good, would it? But that was a good ending anyway, as long as you're still doing that. DD, you mean the statins. Right, so I've got rid of the statins, I've got rid of the beta blockers, I've got rid of some other stuff they was giving me, I've got rid of the aspirin, because I'm taking this other stuff. You know, my regular blood should be thinned out and proper. There's other things I'm talking to Steve about in the background, and I feel better anyway. Yeah, claims smooth inside. Durf. How you doing? Mickey Scott. I was going to ring you back the other night. I do apologise, I forgot. Well, I didn't forget. I was rather upset, but then I forgot. So, just to let you know, I'm not ignoring you. Bandit, hello everyone. And Daddy Dragon. Alright, BFD Bandit, how you doing, son? Don't forget to get out. We need a little mini army. And I will have a discussion on what we want and what we intend to do. And you'll like what we're doing. It's not a... I think but we've got to get a massive head start out there. Okay, so before I do anything else, I am now going to show you again. So last night I couldn't really talk too much about it because I was on someone else's show. And what I'm going to do is put myself down there, right? This is on Rumble. Because it's on Rumble, I don't even know. You'd probably get a strike if you went through this. But this guy's name is Michael Yeadon. Full interview, Planet Lockdown. I'm sure that one of the mods again out there will put it all out there for you. You need to really watch this. And if you know anyone else that isn't a skeptic, but you think they like a bit of documentary and a bit of education, it's well worth a watch. It is an hour long. Planet Lockdown, published April 26th, 2021. Rumble interview with Michael Yeadon, former Vice President and Chief Science Officer of Pfizer, where he worked for 16 years. So he ain't no mug. He outlines his position on the pandemic, the vaccine, the issue of variants, boosters, and the loss of our civil liberties. It is truly an appeal to the world. Please donate to the project. The contribution makes a real difference. Subscribe to the email and go from there. But what you can see is this interview is very powerful. Mike Yeadon has suffered a disgusting cancellation of his credibility and his professional status, all because he is sincere and qualified to debunk the official propaganda. Well done, Mike. I welcome your humanity. Now, what I did and what I'm requesting for people to do is, one, go on here and put a request on for yourself, yeah? And just say, can you contact Graham Moore, right? Put in my email address and say you're needed as an expert witness in a court case in the UK, right? Now, in this video, I don't want to play it just in case. In this video, he actually says that he don't think he's making a difference, and that's why he's not really taking any serious flack from the government, etc. Well, the answer is what you really need to be doing, not just the videos, right? And I understand why you're doing videos, but you are an expert witness, and we need you to give evidence in a number of cases that we've got here. And with respect, I did write to him, right? Now, he never come back to me. I don't know why. I could have had the wrong address. I don't think I did, but I may have done. So he hasn't come back to us. Now, what you can do is go on to the Planet Lockdown website, and there is a contact page. Now, if you put in there, would you please come back to us because you're required, we need you as an expert witness in a court, yeah? Give them my email address and just say, Mike Yeadon, would you please contact graham.moore@protonmail.com because there is a current court case and we require you to give expert evidence, right? That's it. There's actually 2 cases, and that would be really helpful. Journeyman, that's a very interested watch Dr. Vernon Coleman this afternoon on why your doctor is killing you. Every time I speak to my dad about that, can we all hug soon? Yes, of course we can all hug soon. And I'd just like to say that anyone out there that hasn't been hugging, I will be holding a hug-a-monitor, or a hug-a-day on the day that we officially. Now, obviously, I go around giving people hugs, and people say to me, especially women, they say, "I love your hugs," right? I don't know why it is. They just say, "I love your hugs," right? So I'm going to go out there, and anyone who wants a proper hug, right, a loving hug, I will hug them, right? How's that? He's a clever man, this one. So he's Dr. Mike Yeadon. There you go. I ain't stopped hugging. Yeah, puppy lover. Yeah, don't you start getting naughty out there, will you? Right, so that's the first thing we want to talk about there. Someone's just pinged me something, and I'm not even going to look at it. So definitely that has now been put out there for you. Right, I'm going to put it out there. If you can email them people, it does make a difference when you do that. And say contact Graham Moore because you're required that Mike is required, and he can make a difference in two up and coming court cases. The way to make a difference is to get yourself heard in a court of law, because then it's on official record in the courts, and it creates a bit more of a problem for them. What's the next one I'm going to do? Oh, there you go, people. Don't forget to go to my website, because I will be sorting out and sending some more emails starting next week, and I've got a little bit more time, not a lot more time, but a little bit more time to get on with the show and do other things. So there it is, right? I'm just going to stick that out for you. Don't forget, there is so much information on here. Anyone who really wants to get into it can. We've also got the Mega Shop. So this supports the channel. Let me just show you these hats. They're on there because funds are getting low. And the only reason, and there is a reason they're getting low, which I won't go into, but if you want to contact me privately, I'll tell you why. Some people out there know the reason. Right, so again, there it is there, Mega. And these are embroidered. So what you're seeing there is the actual embroidery. This is not cheap stuff. There you got so that's the Mega Make England Great Again, and on the side there you got the English flag, St George's flag I should say, and then you've got the Mega Make England, and then on the other side you've got the Constitution is the solution. They have been flying out. There's all the different colours, so whatever colour you want, there's a Mega, and again you can see, so you've got the red and white ones, you've got the blue ones there, that are fantastic. You've got pink ones. There's the pink ones, and all you do is go to the cart and you can look them up. Or we've actually got these, which I know you already know exist, but I'll show you again. Card-carrying Constitutionalist Bill of Rights 1688-89 and COVID regulations. There's some documentation, but on there, what you've got, there is the front of the card, and there's the back of the card. Let me just see if I can pick one up and show you. By the way, I've got some of these in my car now, and I do actually take them out with me in case anyone says, can I have a card? Right, and it's a wallet card. There it is. So I'm just going to stick that up there. Hopefully you can all see that. Let me just show you where that is. Touch wood, you can see that, right? It might be better if I turned it off the other screen. But there it is, and it tells you what it is. And again, you've got all other stuff on there, mugs, bits and pieces on there, and some really helpful people. Let me tell you something. Big, massive shout out to the people that have helped the channel in lots of ways, and including giving very sizable donations, which has helped the channel no end, right? And again, what I'm going to do is show you that on the screen. Hopefully you can see that without too much ag. There's the card, right? And that's plastic, right? And then on the back, that's what it says. My constitutional statutory rights are not affected by the regulations brought under the Public Health Control of Disease Act 1984 or the Coronavirus Act 2020. By order of the Bill of Rights 1688-89, and there's a website, www.takeabackcontrol.vote. There are £5 each if you want one. If I see you in the street, and you can remember the password, yeah, then you get one for free. What's the password? Anyone know what the password is? Now you've got to guess the password. Come on, guess the password. Do you want me to tell you what the password is? I'm only ever going to tell you what the password is once. Do you know what the password is? Do you know what it is? England 1066. Just remember that. England 1066. If I ever say to you, what's the password? You must say England 1066. So if any time you ever email me and ask me certain questions about certain things, I could say to you, what's the password? And you'll go, England 1066. That's it. So there's the password. English Constitution plus Bitcoin. Constitution is the solution. I've got to be honest with you. The Constitution is the solution is a good password, but most people would probably misspell it in some way. But for this show, it's England 1066, right? And it's quite strange, I think, because I'm sure that the English Democrats' telephone number is something like 1066, or it's got 1066 in it anyway, as you would expect. I think. I'm not sure. I might be wrong with that. But there you go. So that's the other side of it. Let me have a quick look and see. Now, I'm not sure if... let's go off of that a sec. Let's see if I'm live. And I think I am live. That one there says Liam... Right, so end live stream. That one's live. Let's see if it's up there. Ended. Let me see if it's up there. I've got to make sure I'm mute. So that's muted. Let's see if this works. I think I'm still live up there, aren't I? Oh. Hello. Right, hang on. I'm going to put my 3 fingers up and see if it works. If my 3 fingers come up on the Rumble screen, it means I'm live. There's only 9 people watching. Let's see if it works. If I see 3 things... Oh, look, I've just seen 3 fingers come up on that screen. Oh, God, blimey, what a delay that is. But it's up there anyway. And I don't know how to save that. It says embed it. What do they mean by embed? But it's all on there. Ray Edmonds, let's see what I mean about him. They call him the supermod. Who's just put a comment on there? Eh? Ray Edmonds has just put, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give that a Rumble click. Right, so it's on there. I don't know what we're going to do there, but it is on there. And I don't know where else to put all this stuff, but I will be going in there at some stage in the future. So published 10th of May. Right, next thing I'm going to show you. Before we do anything else, and I have got to go out at 9:05 tonight because I'm helping someone with a case, and I'm going to go and speak to them. So I just want everyone to know. Let me have a look and see if anyone else says anything. Lab Rats, evening DD. It's meant to be stuck. It means it's stuck in there. What is stuck in there? My phone screen is blank for picture, but you're on my TV, so all's okay, laugh out loud. Oh, really? Or am I on the big screen? Right. So again, last night, I mentioned this on the show. I'm not sure if people understand what this is, but I'm going to briefly give you an indication of it by, let's bring that down a little bit so I can show you more of the actual... There it is there. So lockdown skeptics. And I'll talk you through this one. This come out over the weekend, I believe, but China was preparing for a Third World War with biological weapons, including coronavirus, 6 years ago. Now, bearing in mind that we've already been talking about this. Now, if we had been talking about it, and we were talking about it 18 months ago, we get referred to as... conspiracy theorists. Oh, Chinese scientists have been preparing for a Third World War, fought with, let's have a quick look at this, fought with biological and genetic weapons. Genetic? Really? Including coronavirus for the last 6 years. According to a document obtained by US investigators, Mail Online, right? Now it goes in to say, it says the bombshell paper accessed by the US State Department, oh really, insists that they will be the core weapon for victory. And it goes into, now this was by, worth reading in full, by Toby Young. So there's the Mail Online, and it's on your screen now. China was preparing. This is mainstream news. Now there's things that we're talking about. Sky News Australia put this out this morning. Yeah, but imagine that we've all been talking about this, and for how long we've been talking about it for, right? So China was preparing for a Third World War with biological weapons, including coronavirus. Now, 6 years ago, according to a dossier produced by the People's Liberation Army in 2015 and uncovered by the US State Department, Beijing has considered the military potential of SARS coronaviruses since 2015. The bombshell document was accessed by US State Department investigators. Scientists examined manipulation of diseases in a way never seen before. Now, with respect, don't forget, there's been lots of films and types of videos that show exactly this happening. There's been books written on thrillers written of this type of thing, right? So Chinese scientists have been preparing for a Third World War fought with biological and genetic weapons, including coronavirus, for the last 6 years, according to a document obtained by the US investigators. The bombshell paper, accessed by the US State Department, insists that they will be the core weapon for victory in such a conflict, even outlining the perfect conditions to release a bioweapon and documenting the impact it would have on the enemy's medical system. This latest evidence that Beijing considered the military potential of SARS coronavirus from as early as 2015 has also raised fresh fears over the cause of COVID-19, with some officials still believing the virus could have escaped from a Chinese lab. The dossier by People's Liberation Army scientists and health officials, details of which were reported in The Australian, examined the manipulation of diseases to make weapons in a way never seen before. Senior government figures say that it raises major concerns over the intention of those close to Chinese President Xi Jinping amid growing fears about the country's lack of regulation over its activities in laboratories. Chinese scientists have been preparing for a Third World War fought with biological and genetic weapons, including coronavirus, for the last 6 years. I'm going to ask you a question in a minute. The latest evidence that Beijing considered in the military potential, fresh fears. And it goes on, and there's more and more and more and more. And there's a lot more information in there, right? I ain't going to read out the whole lot. But, oh, blimey. Questions. Colonel a Wu advisor and Right Major General Chen Wu, China's top bio-defense expert. They look like they come straight out of a video game, them two. And there is Wuhan Institute of Virology in Wuhan, in China's central province. Where have we seen all these type of pictures before? And the Chinese doctors and different bits. So I'm just throwing you this. Ooh, is that the market that they said that a virus had somehow escaped from? And then you've got different people spraying and doing all sorts of weird stuff. And then you've got lots of information coming out on there, right? So what I'm going to do is also copy this and put that out there. All right, so you know what's going on. So you can get, but don't forget, people, we was talking about this 18 months ago, you know, and if we had put it out there, as we do, we're banned from all sorts of channels, etc., and people just don't like the fact that we tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth as we know it, right? And if we get it wrong, we apologise for getting it wrong. So here we go. Now what I'm going to do is put that back up there, put myself back up there, and come back onto your screen. Now, that's rubbish. It's so everybody picks on China. It's either them or Russia. Tony Moore. Right, Tony, for saying that's rubbish. Let's have a chat about that, shall we? I am suspicious about some of this, and one of the things I'm highly suspicious of is that China has a way of developing technologies and stealing drug formulas and stealing other people's cars and stealing engineering designs and stealing almost every product in Cisco's range and calling it Huawei or whatever they called it, right? But just listen to this. Let's just talk about, I don't know, one particular drug. Let's say chemo, right? A chemo drug. And I'm talking about the intravenous stuff that they push through you and do all this nasty stuff and then flush you and then put this in and then flush you again and whatever, right? So you're having chemo. It's £40,000 of treatment. Russia's got, not Russia, China's got a bag of it. They've got all these really dirt cheap labour force out there, and they go, let's see how much we can manufacture this chemo shit for, right? And they turn around and they say, do you know something? We can manufacture that for 15 quid a bag, right? Now, £15 a bag, right? Exactly the same as the £40,000 stuff. And all of a sudden, they start sticking it on the market. Do you think the global pharmaceuticals would get the hump of them? It's just a question. I'm not suggesting that China are the good guys, because I don't believe they are. But I also believe there is manipulation, and you've got to remember what the three main things that the British, let's see if I can get these fingers right, the British, I can't do that. Right, there's the three, right? Three things. And can anyone do the Vulcan sign? Because I can't do that either. Right, three things. One, pharmaceutical industrial complex, British. Invariably it is British. And also Anglo-American, right? But when I say Anglo-American, I mean British-American, not English-American, right? So you've got a group of elites controlling it. Two, the military-industrial complex. China's up there producing some of the best stuff out there now. They're even shipping weapons all over the world, right? Far more so and cheap and reliable, right? And the third, what is it? Anyone know what it is? Anyone know what the third one is? So there's three things that the British are really responsible for. Anyone know what the third is? Can do a V sign. Thank you very much, Susan. Western intel agencies push Russia into the arms of China. Tamiflu now. Take your Tamiflu now. And D. Smith. China food, everything. China floods everything. Anyone know what the third one is? English Patriot. Oh, look, English Patriot, you cocky little fuck. You've been listening to all my lessons, ain't ya? Yes, banking. Right? So you got the three main things that are really controlled by the British, right? And if you don't think it's controlled by the British, you better understand something. All of the tentacles going around to the Commonwealth, there used to be a company called Cable and Wireless. Cable and Wireless used to set up all the data communications and telephone systems that cannot be eavesdropped on, including submarine cables, etc., all over the world. And that company dealt with a completely unique communication system, cable and wireless, that then fed back. There was another company that was, I can't remember who it was now, something like GeoSat. There's a satellite communication company that linked into that as well, right? All of that comms, and then at the end of those communication streams, via cable and wireless and the satellite communication company, and I know people that military intelligence that work there, right? What would happen is at the end of that, most of those are configured to drop into secure lines into embassies, British embassies, and in the British embassies you'll have the command and control structure. Now, what I want you to understand is the system that the British set up was very similar to the Catholic Church. And remember, the Catholic Church had a big control over Europe and everyone else. And the reason it did is because it had what was known as confession. And because of the confession system, it was the oldest known intelligence system where everything was rooted back. So if you imagine in this country, you had Catholic confession all over, and most people were Catholics and they go to confession. Someone will walk in there that was quite senior in the local authority or whatever it was. This is hundreds and hundreds of years ago, 700 years ago, and he'd say, sorry, Father, I've sinned. I've just buggered the kid down the road. Blah, 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 right? That goes back to the local canons. That goes back from there via the stream of information back into Rome. Comes back and they say, right, now we know that. Where's the kid and where's the family? Bang, there it is there. Right. And all of a sudden you start getting a control mechanism of the people that are doing these major things wrong. When they think they're telling someone they can trust, these are my sins. Well, say 3 Hail Marys and whatever you like, and your sins are forgiven, and just don't forget to say sorry to God when you meet him, yeah? And that's how they built the fear system, but they also built their own intelligence system. Roman Catholics built their own intelligence system. And just in case anyone's watching this, understand something, that the people who left Plymouth on the Mayflower in 1620, they took a particular type of Bible, right? And I didn't know this. I actually learnt this from Brayton Spector. They didn't take the King James Bible, right? And it turns out that the King James Bible was actually banned in England, right? And they didn't take the, I don't know, if you like, the Roman Bible. What they took out there with them was what's known as the Geneva Bible. And the Geneva Bible banned, the Geneva Bible banned, was banned in a number of countries. And the reason it was banned in a number of countries is because when it referenced God as the sole God, not as an idol, but as a God and as the Father, right? If there was any references to kings, it was all, or monarchs, it was always negative. Always negative. And they said that no king should control you. You have a personal relationship with God and God alone, right? That's what the Geneva Bible was about. What people don't realise, it also said the same thing about the Pope. Because in effect, all the Pope was a king, yeah? Because it was all feeding back to the king, or the Pope, and that's what happened in both countries. But Protestants turned around and said, we're not interested in that, and we're not interested in being controlled by the church. And that's basically the minor aspects of the history of it, right? So what I'm getting at is this secure system that they once had, the cable and wireless system, must be still there. But they know basically the tentacles of the British Empire go everywhere, right? Now, we're the last colony of the British Empire. How would you break the link with the British Empire completely? How would you destroy it? Well, first of all, you've got to avoid the Acts of Union. The second thing you do is you remove all of their assemblies and their regionalisation of England, right? And in parallel with that, so these are not serial things, these are parallel, you've got to do them all at the same time. You take out the civil service completely. And you go back to the structure of England the way England was. And then what you do is you put our parliament back, an English parliament, back in either York. I prefer it to be in Hull, right? And the reason I say Hull is, one, because it still has access to the sea, and you've got the River Humber, and I believe that area has been abused so much that it really needs to be put back on the map as the capital of England, right? Secondly, Hull, and I've said this on the show before, did have the most advanced telecommunication system anywhere in the country, and it was owned by the people, right? Unfortunately, the council in Hull decided to sell it off, right? Which I found disgusting. But when I say their telecom system in Hull was the most advanced in the world, I mean the most advanced in the world. They could even still now, and you've got Victoria there in the square. They could, and it's a beautiful place, Hull. I loved Hull, right? In fact, I love most places in the north of England. And I believe what should happen then is the current Houses of Parliament, which is Westminster Palace, should be refurbed, and it should be used as a studios of some nature. But we certainly don't need it the way it is. We would transfer and build a real English Parliament. So the British are not involved anymore. It's the English. There's no civil service as it was known. We destroy all the structure of that. You don't have British embassies anymore. You'd have English embassies, and then as another element to that, you would have Scottish consuls or embassies, what you want to describe it as. And if they wanted to be in there, they could, or they could share facilities with someone else. But the English, we would have English embassies, and that is the way you would then completely remove them people and you put your own people in. The judiciary would return solely back to English judiciary, British law, which doesn't exist. There's no such thing as British law. But certainly British trained judges that know nothing about the English constitution or even the Scottish constitution, or any constitution for that matter, which is why they wanted to import the European Union's constitution that we all said no to, and most of Europe said no to, and that is how you take back the country. So London then would have a problem because we would remove the London Assembly, which is a European Union Parliament in effect, a semi-parliament, it's a regional parliament that was designed and operated not only by the British but also the European Union. You would return London. You would remove completely the Metropolitan Police Service, or Metropolitan Police Stasi, as whatever you want to describe them as, Gestapo, and the constabularies that originally took place and the boroughs that originally took place would reassert their control. You would reassert the control of local boroughs and councils, and what you will see then is if you get a really left-wing council, you say to them, you're on your own, son, crack on, because central government doesn't give you the money that it used to give you. basically, you should be able to go through your entire life in this country without coming in contact with the state, right? Meaning that you would come into contact with local authorities, because the local authorities are the little people that you elect to go in there, right? And that's the way that England become one of the greatest nations in the world, right? And at the time, probably the greatest nation in the world. The only people that cocked it all up was the British, right? And they did it because they believe they are a class above everyone else, and certainly a class above the English. And that's one of the reasons why I absolutely cannot abide the British anymore. I agree with that. I would really felt bad when they told me how much I was wanted to give them more. What's that one for, Susan? Let's see. If Susan, let's see what that one is. I'm now going to look at your comments. Where's Susan? Scotland needs to hurry up with that divorce. Naomi, there is a problem with Scotland, and I'm going to tell you what it is. They're pretending to be cracking a whip, and we don't want the union to break and all that. Unfortunately, what people are not realising, is you've got to realise there's a number of entities, right? So it isn't, and I'm going to show you this again, because it is really important. Let's see if I can find it. Come on. Oh, might be there then. No, that's not allowing me to do it either. Alright, let's do it down here then. Hopefully I'll do it from here. Wonder why it ain't working. Where's my potty? Let's see if it works for this one. No, it don't. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm trying to do something. It's oh dear. Let's bring that back up again. I hope you're all seeing me all right, because this is for some reason this PC is coming under a lot of pressure, and it shouldn't be. Yeah, let's go on with that. Hang on. Oh, I'm back again. Right, can you all see me again now? I'll take it I never went off the screen for use, but I am trying to find where this thing is, and I can't find it. Right. Now it's all gone. It's all gone pear shaped. Here. Right, where's it gone again? This is coming under pressure, people. For some reason, my CPU's doing overtime. Come on. Right here, it's on the screen now. So what I want to do now is go to let's go to Constitutional Acts. That's not what I want to see. Plot against the president, union pickets. English versus the British. I think you've already seen this, but I've got to send the other one over to myself, and I haven't sent it, I don't think, at the moment. All I want to do is just remind people of something, and the reminder is, and it's on a different thing, so I can't probably get it on. No, I won't bother. Don't forget how the UK is structured, right? So you got the British. This is a pain. This you got the British, right? And the British is basically another nationality. They're classing themselves as a nation, right? Even though it's not a nation, is the answer. It's a political union, but they have classed themselves as a class above everyone else, right? Now underneath that, you've got the Scottish, the Welsh, and the Irish, right, or the Northern Irish, they've all got assemblies. The only people that ain't got anything is the English, right? Now, if Scotland was to have a deal, they'd be having a deal with the British, and the British want to divide up and regionalise England because they want to destroy England, right? That's the problem with allowing Scotland, which would be the tail wagging a dog. And that's why England needs to be having her own referendum, which we've never had before. England's never had a national referendum. I think, and I will go and check this and show you what it is, I think Scotland's had 2 national referendums, might be 3. I think it is 2. Wales has had 2 national referendums, and Northern Ireland's had 2. I think it's 2-2-2, and then we've had none. So England as a country has never had a national referendum of its own. In other words, excluding Scotland, excluding Wales, excluding Northern Ireland. And I think it's about time the English said, hold up a minute, yeah, we're running this show. It's our money that you keep banging over all these borders and doing X, Y, Z. It's the British that are stitching us up. The Scots are sticking us up. And I'm not talking about Scottish patriots, by the way. I'm talking about the SNP. And I do not regard them as Scottish patriots. They're socialists. I do not regard any socialist as a patriot, right? And I think people need to understand that. And that's the main thing that you need to learn. Let me see. Right. So, I just got a text message. Reverend Simon in the chat. Hello, Reverend Simon. How you doing, son? Don't forget, I nicked your pub idea. I'll do that on a Thursday night. It's the nuts, and I love it, right? And I'll be carrying on with that as soon as we've organised a few things out in the background. So, just to say to the Reverend Simon, hello, how are you? Be lucky, etc. Right, so again, you've got to understand where we're coming from. There is a serious problem with the Welsh as well, right? And I'm not, listen, this ain't, I love the Welsh, I love the Scots, right? You can ask, I mean, I've got Scots in my family, right? 2 weeks ago I was sleeping with a Scottish lady, right? A big smile on my face, never touched her, right? But she's lovely, right? And she comes all the way down to Scotland and she speaks the English and she goes all the way back up to Scotland again, etc. Right? I haven't got a problem with the Scots, right? I have got a problem with socialism because it destroys every nation it's ever touched. So the SNP are, and they used to be, they had Nazis associated with them, right? The SNP are socialists. Plaid Cymru are socialists. Northern Ireland Sinn Féin are socialists. The IRA Green Book, if you haven't read it, go and get a copy of it. It's online, right? And I'm telling you, it's straight, real, trust me. Someone from Northern Ireland sent me a copy, right? And I read through it, and I think it's 7 declarations in there to socialism. And that's why Corbyn, the Fabians, the Marxists and all that done a deal on Good Friday, because they classed the IRA as revolutionaries, as communist revolutionaries, right? And that's why they had to deal with them. That's why they give them full immunity, etc. Because they was controlling the action. So it was the Fabian Society and that's why you get Corbyn, John McDonnell and others that will not say anything against the IRA because they consider them to be revolutionaries. That's why they was given immunity. And that is now why you're seeing from this socialist structure of the British now, and it is a socialist, it's always been socialist, Tories have always been socialist, right? Go and read history and you'll find out why. The real conservatives were the Republicans and they left. They were the Whigs and they went out to America and they recreated England in effect in America, right? and done a fantastic job of it, which is why it became the most powerful nation in the world. It isn't the largest landmass, it isn't the largest population, but it is the largest economy in the world. Why is that? Yeah, I'll tell you for why, because they ain't fucking socialists. Yeah, and that is what we're looking at. So I just want everyone to understand where I'm coming from on that angle. Yeah. Now, getting back to Naomi, who's made that comment. And by the way, I'm not having a go at you, darling. I'm just saying to you that people think it would be a good thing if the SNP was to have their way and do X, Y, Z. Now, Robin has been speaking to what he describes, and possibly what I would describe as real Scottish patriots. I mean, real Scottish patriots. They want independence, real independence. They want independence completely. They want to run their own country. They don't want anyone else wrapped around them. They want complete independence, right? In other words, they don't want independence and then want to rejoin the EU. Has anyone heard anything more insane, right? So it's fairly obvious that you're going to get real patriots. And when I say real patriots, I mean people like me and the people watching this show, right? And we will all come together, yeah, and say, as patriots, this is what we believe. We want as much freedom as possible, right? And it's only the English that's ever given you that. That's why years ago the continent was at war for 400 years non-stop, literally. If it weren't X and B fighting each other, it was X and Y fighting each other, and then A and Z fighting each other. So I want everyone to understand, they used to come to us because we weren't at war. We had the best system and the best system of governance, where local people from the ground up run what we're doing. We didn't have a centralised system what we've got now. And again, people have got to realise the National Health Service is not your friend. The National Health Service was a Nazi idea. And you can see now, by 1.5 million people that currently work in the National Health Service. Just think about that, people. That currently work in the National Health Service. Now imagine all them retirees. Imagine all of them being indoctrinated into voting Labour. Imagine, even worse than that, that you've got the education system that has been completely controlled by the socialists. And now you can see what the problem is. And the only way you can take back our country, England, is to do that. So I just want everyone to know that Naomi's not wrong in her thinking, but we need the Scottish patriots. So getting back to the initial point with Naomi, what Robin has been having discussions with Scottish nationalists, real patriots, is they are voting for independence. But if they get independence, bang, they're getting rid of the SNP. That's the only way you should do it. But my personal opinion is, all the time we allow Scotland to lead in the and don't forget, the Union is not Northern Ireland and Wales, right? Wales is already part of England and the English common law jurisdiction. The Union has only got 2 signatories on it, right? And that's England and Scotland. End of. And the Union was amalgamating the 2 parliaments, right? The monarch had already been amalgamated, I think, 80 years previous to that, right? So you need to really understand what's going on there to understand that what the Scots are going to do, what the socialists are going to do, they're going to interact with the British socialists and destroy England. And that's where we need to get the message out and say, listen, hold up, we ain't having none of this, right? So that's it. Now, I've got to be slipping off in 5 minutes. I'm going to love you and like you. Thank you to everybody that's watching the show. Thank you. Literally, you have well supported the show. You have supported everything else. Tomorrow night, I'm going to replant my presentations, right? So I'm going to do the 3 presentations. One is on England versus Britain and show people, just so I can show you what I'm talking about. I might even bring this one up on the screen again. I think I already have. And if I haven't, I will show it to you now. And we need a big shout out for something else next week, so I'm going to ask a few people to do that. Let me have a quick look and see if I can actually show that anywhere. How am I going to get around that one? Don't ask me, but we'll try, shall we? Is there anything doxing up there? No, I don't think there is. Right, so just briefly, I'm going to show you this one, yeah? Screen 2 again. And I'll bring you this up. Right, here it is. English law versus British Parliament. 2 mathematical equations showing how the British took your rights, yeah? So there's the first one. Everyone should be seeing that up there. The British mathematical equation that gives the answer. 2 funny squiggles. This is algebra, basically. And Lord Denning was really good at maths. And there it is. And it comes up. And dx equals 2. So the answer is 2. That is a proper mathematical equation, right? So that's a British way of getting to 2. What I'm going to do now is show you this. Now, this is the English common law constitution mathematical reasoning comparison. English law, 1 + 1 = 2. Right? Now, you obviously see the equation above, and then you see the way that working class people say, what's the problem? Well, 1 + 1 = 2, right? So there's a few things. English law is simple. What is the English common law constitution that gave England and to the USA? The British Parliament then took those rights away from England, all contrary to the English constitutional common law. So on the left there is the English flag and the rights that were given to you by an English Parliament, an English common law and English customs, and English statutes. The right of the realm of England and its subjects to defend themselves, removed by the British. And don't forget what socialists do. The first thing they do before a genocide is disarm the public. It's happened in every single arena around the world. The right to a jury, mostly repealed or removed now by the British. The right to remain silent. If you know what the actual caution is now, you haven't got to you can't remain silent. They will take it as an inference and tell the court that it's a negative inference. And if you don't say something that you later rely on court, they'll use that against you as well. That is completely wrong and goes against our constitution. The right of habeas corpus. Everyone should know this. How is it taken away? European arrest warrant. The right to bring up and protect. Let me just see if I can bring this down a touch. The right to bring up and protect, and there's loads of other bits there. It's all going pear-shaped, so I'm going to stop that one. And I will do them all tomorrow night. And the reason I'm saying that is because I have got to go out. That's it. Here we go. Au revoir, tiddly-poo. Don't forget what I believe in. The Constitution is the solution. God bless you. God bless England. And God bless everybody who's out there for the struggle to take England back from the British. And we'll stop this tyranny. And people now have got to organise and get with us. And once we do that, this country will thrive, the working class will thrive, and we will gain all of the rights back that we previously had over our families and our children. And you'll never see the terrible things that are happening in this country again. That's it. Be lucky. I'm off. Tiddly-poo.